All right, what we have here is a big motor yacht that has lost its control of the boat. Evidently the big boats like to cut off a little bit of time and cut in between the sailboats and the pangas or the jet skis that are tied off, and they get tied up in the lines. So this boat happened to get one of the two props bungled up in a line and lost it, and we have been fighting it off of the bow and the starboard side of our boat for the better part of an hour. This all started after we already had one sailboat full of tourists go cruising by, and so I called John and said, hey, we need you up here, better get up here. And he came up, and he actually, the folks on the boat did not know what to do, how to handle it, so it's our boat, man, it's our house, it's everything, right? We've got our everything poured into it. So John dove in with mask, snorkel, and a knife. Right now they're out far enough to not be a danger for us. John is still on their boat.
So I'm trying to warm up right now. Deb called me out. I was watching some videos because I called the hotel and stole some Wi-Fi from them. So we got the boat set up and we're doing a bunch of updates. Cabo San Lucas is a freak show. And if anybody's ever seen Waterworld, or you remember a line from there when they go, "Smokers!" It is tour boats, glass bottom boats, water taxis, jet skis. It's chaotic in the freaking bay. Deb happened to notice something. She went up on deck and there's a 53-foot powerboat, twin screws, that's like on our boat, like literally on the boat. And I came out and I looked at them and they're like, we caught a line. Okay. So they had some dude in the water. He didn't know what the hell he was doing, couldn't hold his breath. I don't think the guy could swim. It was all they could do to try to come up with something. It's a charter boat. And so I grabbed my mask, my snorkel, my serrated knife, jumped in, swam over, and the whole thing was, how do we save our boat? There was our boat and the sailboat next to us, and I was trying to figure out, how do I get these guys loose? I couldn't get enough slack, and I couldn't cut the line for whatever reason. I could cut a bunch of line, but I could not get them cut loose. What ended up happening is we got kind of in an area, and the weight or anchor or whatever was tied to the bottom started to float, which was great. And we started going out deeper, and they started freaking out, and I was like, no, this is perfect. So we got in between our boat and the neighbor's boat, and as soon as we started floating out and got deeper, we got to our stern. He had a big kitchen knife that was super sharp, and I dove down, cut the boat loose. So now we're floating out in the middle of nowhere. And he thought that was good enough, that he was gonna take it into the marina, and I was like, no, hold on. I said, let me cut the prop loose. And unfortunately, there was at least 4 or 5 wraps, and this line was probably 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. It was a big line. So I sawed through the middle, I got the front, I got the back, and after about 30 minutes of working on this and being in the water, you can see I'm wrapped up right now. It's about 75 degrees, it's cold. It's cold. Start the engine, run a little bit forward, a little bit back, and it was enough to spin the line loose, and the last piece that I pulled off was about 8 feet long, and got him loose and got him cut out. And the guy gave me a tip. We got $400 in pesos, and that might even come close to making up for the taxi cab ride that I got screwed the other day. So.
As cruising life goes, we find ourselves saying fair winds to our new cruising buddies, Nick and Phil from Paradigm 2.0. Please follow them on Facebook and Instagram. I promise you, you won't regret it. These guys are awesome. I kind of miss those guys.
Yeah, they're funny. They are total funny. They're a dude. Fair winds and safe travels.
I feel like bringing my ASIN down.
You know what? You ought to. It should be perfect.
When we weren't an obstacle for the jet skis to race around or the tour boats to skim by like we were zoo animals, the bay's natural wildlife came close. Schools of mobila rays, bait balls, and even a sea lion or two visited. Off in the distance we had a visit from the Mexican Navy. A safe distance, that is. And we also said fair winds to our new friends on Hunter S. Thompson, Ishtar, and Jerome.
It's hot. It's the calm before the storm. We're on a really nice bus headed to Costco. We're going to try to pick up our parts and do all our provisioning so that we can just go into the marina, work on the boat, wait out the storm, maybe have some fun, and then get out of here and go to French Polynesia.
In other words, it's another John boondoggle.
Yeah, Chris, you should be here. It's freaking hot.
Okay, we're not in the Cabo that you're expecting to see. This is more the industrial part. We have come here to reprovision at Costco and Walmart. It looks like at this point in time anyway, we're going to be here for Hurricane Bud, who should be downgraded to a tropical depression by the time he hits Cabo. No, I am not crying. What you see is driblets of sweat. It is hot as balls here. Thank you for that, Ivan.
Picking up our parts and reprovisioning, John did not think that we would need more than our reusable bags and that we would be able to take the bus back. However, we have two different shopping styles, and unfortunately, we did have to use some plastic bags.
John is up at the marina right now, checking in with their weather reports and plans for the marina as we plan on coming in on Wednesday. It is super uber hot here, and even though we're on the water now, it's still much better. And I'm going to show you the front of our dinghy. Yep, we are ready to go hunt there. These guys are just waiting for a little bit of something from the guy cutting the fish today.
Well, we're actually reprovisioning again, but this is not a good sign. Having the stairs up means John is in there again. And what are you doing?
So when we were at the Socorro Islands, we dug out the scuba equipment. Unfortunately, some of it hasn't been touched for a while, and I had one pressure gauge that they're not filled with oil, but it coagulated on the side, and it looked like the needle like melted in, so it was non-functional. So this is one of the little goodies from Santa Claus that just came down from the island. I also had a spring break on the dump valve on my BCD. Come to find out there was a recall on that, but that was like 6-7 years ago. So, you know, you never pay attention to that until you're in the Socorros 200 miles from everywhere and it breaks. So I stole one, or borrowed. I borrowed one from a different BCD that we've got a spare. Put that in. Luckily the springs are the same. The other thing that I had sent down was a brand new BCD. The one that I had never serviced, my bad, and it bubbled and leaked, but you could tell that the O-rings were shot. So this one was brand new, and I went ahead and bought a brand new one instead of getting the kit to rebuild this because it was $16. The kit to do the O-rings and everything were like $8, and I thought for twice that, I'll just get an entire new piece. Should last another 8 years, right? Deb's filling up the boat, trying to find nooks and crannies for everything, and I'm trying to stay out of the way, but how do you think that's working out? Really nice sunset tonight. You can see the birds. I have no idea what size the birds are or what the birds are that are over the peak. Over Land's End over here, but you can actually see the outer bands from it's actually hurricane. It's category 3 right now, so the outer bands are sweeping around, and tomorrow morning we're going to go into the marina. The reason we're going into tomorrow is so that I can get up the mast and replace the shivs and get everything done with the boat. We need to get in there so that I'm not like rocking and rolling trying to get, trying to do the work on the top of the mast. Wednesday is supposed to be tropical storm winds. Could be 39 to 75 5 miles an hour, something like that. We don't expect that much. What I looked at the storm tonight, it's going to track, which is kind of funny because this is really Land's End. This is like the last point of the Baja right here. It's actually going to track about 100 miles to the west of here. However, if anybody's done any analysis of a hurricane before, all the winds and the majority of the brunt is on the right hand side, so it's going to come right up this bay. We're going to go into the marina over here, and you can't see it right now, it's hard to film that. It's going to be somewhat protected. There's a bunch of hotels and some buildings, so we think we'll be okay. Stay tuned. By Wednesday, though, it's going to start raining. So there's going to be a lot of wind, there's going to be a lot of rain, there's going to be a lot of storm, and like I said, you kind of see the outer bands are starting to come in. What's going to be interesting about that is, I told Deb, one of the things I want to do, I want to do a Jim Cantor Weather Channel update from the beach.
It is Tuesday and we are heading into the marina, the IGY marina for, hi buddy, for Hurricane Bud and hunker down for the storm. We're now in the marina and we sent John up the mast. He's currently working on the boots before we go on up to the very top. What are you working on now?
I am seizing the spreaders.
Is it as hot up there as it is down here?
I'm actually right in the shade of the spreader, the mast right now.
Nice.
So it's tolerable.
Nice.
Plus I'm soaking wet.
That was a good idea to go up wet.
Yeah, it's freaking hot.
It seems like most of the fishing boats here have problems coming into the marina. Almost all of them seem to have a pilot guide with them. Some ride on the back of their boat, some just push them from behind. Yep, and there's another pilot helping to guide 19's toy in. Doing a mighty fine job there, I might say. Looks like he's giving an extra push. 19's toy must be having some difficulties. But he's on it, like a good pilot.
This guy, he cracks me up. He takes the whole ride in, right on top of the transom.
It's the middle of the day, it's pretty hot, but we have to get this stuff done. Alright, so how was it up there? What did you find?
It's going about as I expected. It's hot. I'm really tired. Pins are gonna work, but they're different than what we had. So I'm gonna try to bend them.
John, how was it up there?
This is probably the tiredest and most beat I've been in a long time. So I think I was on top of the mast for a couple hours. And if anything could go wrong, it went wrong. Short version is it's all fixed. It's better than it was before, even before it was broke. Gotta tighten the side stays, the back stay, and then put the jib on, roll it up, kind of put everything away, get checked in real quick, hopefully before 5 so we can get a key and get a shower, but I'm shot.
With the storm impending and the marina action now quieting down, We had the opportunity to watch a sea lion as he played with his food for several minutes. This is something I've never had an opportunity to see before. Of course, I was quite delighted. Evidently, his or her mom never taught him to not play with their food at the table. Like everyone else, we were watching the weather very carefully. The clouds, the wind, the water motion in the marina, making extra preparations to our boat to make sure it's safe, watching more weather models, even taking a walk to the point and to the beach, and John making his own weather video.
This is Jim Cantorn broadcasting live from the Cabo Beach. You can see it's total destruction as Hurricane Bud enters the waterway here. You can see the bands and the rain and everything, and it's total chaotic. The winds are so intense that it's taken all the hair out of my head. More later.
La galería, señor. What's your name? Juan. I'm pasta. We're going to taste my food. It's my restaurant. It's my kitchen.
Yeah?
Yes, do. You are invited, Juan.
Okay.
Right here. So mañana we have Mexican molcajete. It's a lava roll with a fresh cheese and baby onion with cactus leaf. So good, señor. If you not like, you not pay. It's a guarantee. You not like, he's going to pay for it.
Big Joe.
Big Joe, he's the handsome guy who walked us earlier. You can see the runoff from the ground, from the land as it's going into the marina. The water is milk chocolatey brown. Ew.
So this is about how much rain we've got. Maybe 4 inches. And probably at least that much coming. Check this out.
You can see at the boat ramp, the boat launch for Iggy Marinas, that here is a large runoff area and where our chocolatey milk water is coming from.
Perfect vehicle. Just needs a snorkel.
Yeah, everything about this looks safe and, for me, fun. Really? Now he's going to call for me to come over there. See, I told you. We were here yesterday, and we even took a photo at the hashtag Cabo sign. Even though it was pre-hurricane, there was still a fair amount of tourists making use of the nice restaurants around here. Today, all the restaurants are closed.
This is Jim Cantorn live! Out of the brick wall. As you can see, it is easily 40 to 50 mile-an-hour winds out here, and the rain hurts like babies. Hey Chris, you don't want me sailing in this stuff. The marina's so protected.
That is a hint of blue sky over there as the eye of the storm is passing over us. I hear voices over there, and it almost feels like Cabo's coming back to life a little bit. Hi there, little guy. Did you come in to say hi, or did you come in to take a little bit of a breather? Hey, thanks for watching. And as always, your support is so important to us. An amazing thank you to our first patrons, Tony of Adventure Project and Arthur. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. And as always, we'd love to have your support on Patreon to help us continue bringing videos like this to you. Look for our next video to come from French Polynesia. Cheers!